Ladies and gentlemen, I would like, if I may, to take you on a strange journey. This is the secrets of the supernatural with National Geographic and this chick on the front who's cosplaying like Starfire from the Teen Titans. Who is God? You know, it's interesting. They give you so much information here, but they don't give you his name. So, like, people know him. Allah, Yahweh is one that gets lost a lot. Jehovah, they actually took that out of the Bible. Why wouldn't they put that in this? It's like a rehash of what Westerners already know about the Bible. Faith, magic, and the miraculous. Faith is magic. Let's face it, the placebo effect actually works. And since the placebo effect actually works, couldn't that be said that placebos are magic? But where does the magic come from? Do you think that magic is manufactured by the hello? Do you think that magic is manufactured by the manufacturers of the sugar pill, or is it the individual who takes the pill? Isn't that magic? Seems kind of magical to me. I have never legitimately seen anyone legitimately float. Yeah, so communing with the spirits of divination is a real touchy subject, especially if you're Christian, because Christians believe that only God has the power to use magic. Now, I have an interesting theory that we all generate the magic through the faith and give the magic to the deities through our faith, who in turn use said magic to, whatever. Anyway, so this is a dream interpreter. Yeah, that's Joseph from Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dream Coat. So he can get away with this in the Bible because this power is given to him through God and is not through other people. Now, if you use magic or divination unto yourself, that really makes a Christian Judeo God, Yahweh, not Mohammed, that was a prophet, Allah, it really upsets these gods. You're not supposed to even get anyone else to use any magic. There is no magic before me. But that's where the pagans come into it. They're kind of like, you know what? We're going to make our own religion with blackjack and hookers and do whatever we want. Now, the Ouija board is something really interesting. I spent a lot of time with it. I spent a lot of time researching it and on it directly. Man, when I was like 13, I was obsessed with the Ouija board because I thought that technology was the craziest stuff. It blew my mind that this thing could move and the information it had within it. So ultimately what I got from it was you're generally talking to yourself, the self within yourself. Now there's BC universities that are using it as a way to communicate with your subconscious. Now topically, you might not know the capital of Bangladesh or let's say the capital of whatever. But if you're really chilled out and meditated and maybe in a hypnotic trance, maybe a hypnotist could pull that information out of you. Now, if you are talking to a Ouija board, sometimes a Ouija board can pull this information out of your head, out of your subconscious, which is what the university is saying. But I'll tell you, as someone who's used these Ouija boards quite a bit, every now and then, I can count on one hand how many times, but I know damn well there definitely were things that was not me, that I was communicating. And it's remarkable, and studies still need to be done more on it, and studies continue to be done on the Ouija board. I legitimately don't think that these boards are communicating with anything on the outside. I think these things are communicating with things on the inside of us. And when you talk to people who start talking about dimensions past the 10th dimension, they say that the 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th dimension might actually be some kind of subatomic universe. Maybe some of this stuff that we're looking for externally is actually just internal, and we're finding external tools to trigger it. And that is the foundation of the occult as I was to understand it. So there's a lot of people that can they do their own thing. Palm reading, like, yes, this is, it works, whatever. But people who do this stuff have their own interpretations. Trust me, it's just like women in horseback riding. If you know any woman that rides English or Western, I don't care. If they have their own stable, trust me, they know. Anybody who's dated people like this, they know everything more than anybody else knows anything about horses. And every pagan is like that. Every Christian is like that. They all have their own thing They all have their own thing they go with, and everything is different for everyone. If you go on, so it's hard to find groups of pagans that get together and agree with much. I mean, paganism seems to be rooted more in chaos, and the Christians more in order. So they write everything down and argue about everything, whereas the pagans hardly write anything down and still argue about anything, and also argue about what the Christians are doing. So, magic symbols and whatnot. This is just a symbol, but it has the power of the faith that you put in it. These symbols, a cross, are they actually powerful, or is it just a symbol? I mean, is this Elvis or Jesus? Like, say that is this KFC guy Colonel Sanders? No, no, it's not Colonel Sanders, but it still kind of draws and invokes something. Ain't that right, Cthulhu? So, as I was getting into the occult and the magic, I was to understand that most of this was just actually unlocking things within ourselves. Alchemy, and something that we got a little bit of information from, but in the end of it, we didn't get what we wanted to. We wanted to get gold out of this here stuff, but we didn't. We got a lot of cool things. Like, one thing we got is the symbols. We got symbols from alchemists. We got a black kitty cat. How's it going, Midnight? She's a cutie kitty cat. Look at this overt racism. They start talking about the left-hand path, which is, of course, the negative path, and they start including black religions. But really, if you hate someone, okay, so I have the angel of God's vengeance tattooed on my shoulder. If I've ever wanted to use religion to get vengeance, you damn well bet I'm going directly to voodoo. Directly to voodoo. If you don't believe me, send me some of your hair, and voodoo is black AF. So yeah, with voodoo, just get somebody's hair, poop, pee, something about them. Dip this in a piss bucket, and then, get this and concentrate on, you know how this goes, right? I don't even like doing that as a joke, but hey, check it out. It's Anton LaVey, the guy that made a church about Satan and Satanism that doesn't actually believe anything about Satan or Satanism, but if you look at their satanic rites, they look an awful lot like demonologists' rites. And they're really freaking weird. And even him and the guys at the top wouldn't participate in the blood orgies. Yeah? Yeah, you don't think it's real? Yeah? You don't think that they actually believe in Satan? Wouldn't the funniest thing, I'm not saying I believe, but wouldn't the funniest damn thing be if you were Satan? To make everyone believe that you didn't even exist. And then to still get a church made of you. So I'm not saying Satan exists, but I'm saying that if there are giant spirits, that they replicate themselves over religions and time. Like, I'm saying Satan and Loki, oh yeah, they're related. And then women are like, oh, I love Loki so much, he's so sexy, and all this stuff. And then they're like, oh, I want to be with him. And then they date guys like him, and they get so angry when it doesn't work out, and they get screwed up, and they're all like, oh, the white patriarchy, and all of that stuff. Oh man, the witch trials. This one's particularly rough because it's a woman blaming a man. Blaming a man. You know what? It's just okay, so legitimately woman ate shit in this whole situation way more than men did. And it's just interesting that when they're here making a picture about it, it's the man suffering. Oh no, it's my white guilt. I'm just kidding. I step away from that. I digress. The Hammer of Witches, I'm making an audio book about that, my guys. Instruments of magic. Legitimately, if I could fly around on a broom, I would do that. Not like totally unapologetically, no problem. If we could make that technology. This guy looks like the kind of guy that could make it work too. Get that tongue back in your mouth, sir. The new age of witchcraft. If y'all think that this looks goofy, go watch the Catholics. Go watch the Baptists. It's interesting that multiple religions all have same basic beliefs about, well, some dark things. Like, first off, don't speak of the devil. Never speak of the devil. Try not to speak the devil's name. And because if you do, he will come and you will give him power. I'm finding that across Eastern, Western, Native, and colonial, all over the place. And that really freaking, it gives me pause, and it makes me think, okay, I I don't even say their literal names, and I really avoid saying any demon name 3 times. But hey, if the AI says it, it's not a thing, right? Vampires and zombies, dark things taking energy from you, or individuals who are dead but aren't really dead keep coming back, don't they? I want to suck your blood. I had a girlfriend that was a cutter and a vampire, a Psy-vamp. Man, I hate vampires ever since then. But man, she was wicked in the sack. Not her or him. Hey, you guys remember that time that dude raped the mummy? I would have thought by now that if ghosts and poltergeists were real, we'd have more documentation and information on them. We do have some documentation, some information, but damn near everything comes out. 99.95% of everything is discredited. It's easy to figure out what it is once you figure out that dust and physical media has the issues, especially if you're recording with tape, you get ghosting effects, etc. Once you know the technical and some of the strange things that happen when you're running with a camera, you find out that not everything's as spooky as you think it is. But you knock on wood to get the fairies out of it. The fairies live in the wood. All Hallows Eve is something that seems to be in multiple religions, where everyone agrees that the border between the living and the dead is at its smallest. And if you want to communicate with them, you do it now. It seems to be, to me though, that that's the time when the sun's really starting to get low and everyone's realizing that it's time for the sun to be gone. Without the sun, we have death. Without the sun, we have nothing. Anyways, that's it for me, guys. Have a good one. Take care of each other, too, will you?